My name is Jesse, and I work with small businesses in the government marketplace. You're listening to FedBiz'5, where you get informed, get connected, and get results on everything government contracting. Today, we welcome back Anthony Diattore, who I'm pretty sure has been with FedBiz Access longer than the furniture.
Yep.
A government contracting research aficionado, he's always dropping useful knowledge for our listeners that they can use. Welcome back, Anthony.
Oh, thank you very much.
Absolutely, man. It's great to have you. It's my understanding, often when businesses get involved in government contracting, they're told that they need to register in SAM, check eligibility for set-asides, and then immediately pursue SAM.gov for bid opportunities and start bidding. So would you say that this is the best method?
I'd have to disagree with that as a method. I mean, yes, get your registrations. Yes, by all means, if you're eligible for any kind of set-asides, you should pursue those as well.
Oh.
However, jumping right into solicitations is probably not the best recipe for success. Vast majority of the federal spending doesn't go through solicitations. In fact, only about 10% does go through solicitations. So it's more important at that point, you want to be able to do research, and that research can encompass a lot of different things.
Like Ashley coined the test before you invest kind of thing, right?
Oh yeah, I do agree with that. And in order for you to be successful in any kind of business, right, you need to know what your market is. You need to know who your market is. You have to have a clearly defined plan going in. Who's spending? How are they spending? And in the federal market, I think that's even more important because you want to be able to focus your energy. There's not enough time in the day for you to go after every government branch.
Okay.
So you need to focus. Who's buying the most of what you sell? What offices? What people? Who should you be reaching out to? The 90% that doesn't go through solicitations is about those buyers knowing who you are, right? So that you get these invites to bid. That's a lot stronger than with no past performance and no experience going to try to stand toe-to-toe and duke it out with companies that may have much deeper pockets, may have a team of people that's all they do is read solicitations and respond to them. So it's pretty competitive in that end, and it's the lion's share of the market is happening elsewhere.
Right.
You need to know what that is.
That definitely is information, I believe, that our listeners can appreciate. As far as that's why they call it a bid, right? You're working to accomplish and get the rewards for these, correct? I mean, I'm just trying to get a better understanding, mostly so our listeners can appreciate, because I know like the lingo here, we have, what are they called?
RFQs, RFPs, right. Well, and again, those are going to be formal solicitations. There's a whole market, and it's typically the $250,000 or less market that is probably a better leaping off point. And the vast majority of that is done through relationships. But you can't establish those relationships if you don't know who's buying what you sell. You can't, or where they are. And also, subcontracting is another route where relationships become key. So there's many ways to approach it that aren't necessarily going after those formal solicitations.
Excellent. That is very informative, and I know our listeners really appreciate it. I know I do.
But I got to say, at the end of the day, if you're not armed with that research and that knowledge moving forward, then you'll lack direction and you won't be able to establish those relationships. You won't be able to find that information,
And get success if you don't have that kind of stuff. That's excellent.
That's right.
I always ask one more final thing. Is there any little niche or detail that you could give our listeners before we call it a day?
I would invite people certainly to call. I'm available. I'm more than happy to have a deeper discussion on the matter.
Now we're giving them ammo and everything to really get out there and do what they need to do. And showing that you're available for our listeners, I think that's fantastic. I've learned something a little extra today as well.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
This concludes this week's episode of FedBiz'5, where you get informed, get connected, and get results. Today's podcast is sponsored by FedBiz Access, government contracting made simple. Visit them at FedBiz'5.com or contact them at 888-299-4498.